Hello there, my name is Jack Hammond, and I am here for the Week 1 Status Report video. Starting off first slide, senior project. Project title right now is Budget Builder Website, and I'm working alone, so just myself. And then the GitHub link is not currently there because it's first week, so still don't have the GitHub. Not sure, I might have it next week, possibly the following, because next week I'm planning on doing more research and building a project outline. So overall status is on track. Worked about 5 hours this week, um, and then of course 5 hours total. About 121 hours left because I gotta hit that 126 for this class. Nothing done last week, and then next week I do want to have a formal proposal, and then a project outline. So I want to build like set in stone of everything I want to get done, specifics, and then an outline of when I want to have those things done by. And then no sped talks this week. And then I had accomplishment. I started brainstorming, and then I did do discussions. I'll talk about that in a moment, and some preliminary research. But before I get into the report of what I actually did this week, let me talk about some challenges that I had. So probably the biggest challenge is trying to find like the Goldilocks level, like not too big, not too complex, not too simple. Because I want something that will challenge me and that will build up my resume, make me a good employee, something I can feel like, hey, I feel good that I graduated with this as my senior project, without it taking, a few years to get done because I'm just one person who has to do a lot of research. And so, and then that's my question is for you. Is my project, is it a good way to prepare for the job field? Is it realistic and challenging? Should I aim for more or less based on the 126-hour requirement? But let me go into the report for this week. So I started talking to 3 different people in computer science fields. Let's see, I talked to my dad and my brother-in-law and then someone from my ward. And they all have, I don't know, like similar-ish backgrounds. And I realized, so I like back end development the most, um, but I've been trying to work on more of my front end because I understand that full stack developers are a lot easier to get hired, especially now, with the job field being what it is with AI and everything. And so I want the senior project. My goal for the senior project is to fill up the gaps in my learning and to figure out a way to um, like make myself a good candidate, I guess you could say. Probably should have written a script. Sorry, I'm kind of going off the top of my head. So I decided that I wanted to build a website that would kind of incorporate everything that I've learned. Because right now I have C Sharp. I'm pretty good with. That's I feel the most comfortable. SQL I feel pretty comfortable with too. Front end I know the basics of HTML, JavaScript, CSS. I don't know. I've never worked with React or anything like that, and so that's why for this project I want to learn some React and build the front end using that, and then use C Sharp for the back end, and then use SQL or MySQL specifically as a relational database to store some of that information. For the demo, I just did it on MS Paint of kind of what I'm thinking about the website of looking like. I'd like, so it's like 2 different options is one where you put either your income or your rent mortgage, and then it does a quick build of saying like, okay, here's what you should save for groceries. This is like for example, if you do income, it's like, okay, this is kind of the rent range you should look for if you're trying to decide where to live. This is how much you should set aside for groceries, for medical expenses, for car expenses, stuff like that. And then custom build, which will let you kind of like, I mean, ideally, I like to have sliders of saying like, okay, like just most people spend at your income level spend between this and this much money on different areas of your life, so you can budget out specifically. Um, and then let's see. So yeah, with that, so my big question is, does that sound like a good project? after talking with some of those people, and asking about senior project ideas and talking to them about that question specifically, I kind of got the consensus. Start as simple as possible, just to try to get it done, and then if time allows, then add more complexity. And so I'm trying to start simple so I can have something manageable and then build up complexity as that goes on. But thank you for watching, and I will see you next week.